started. All right, so I'm going to share my screen. Let me just get the right one up. Okay, so can you see my screen now?
Yeah.
Beautiful. I'm just going to put the slideshow on. Here we go. So today's webinar is about unlocking revenue growth. And this is pretty much about looking at your products, what kind of products you've got, and then the sales process that goes behind selling those products and making sure that it all matches, because this is a topic that I've found over probably the last 2 months. It's something I've been diving into. I've got the Maralytics, which is software, doing the webinars and, having different kind of programs. And it's really important to get clarity on which is a product and which is the sales process, what's used as a sales process, because I know with my software and that I've got so many little products that just wanted to get clear on where they are in the architecture of the business. And this is why this topic came about. And I just wanted to explore it and share my findings and learnings. So, all right. So what we're going to learn today is product value ladder. So have you heard of value ladders?
No, I haven't heard of the ladder thing. Yeah.
Okay. So a value ladder was used a lot by Russell Brunson from ClickFunnels. So he calls it a value ladder. In the Dent KPI, which you'll hear about that in a moment, they call it an ascending transaction model, but it's basically stepping people through. So you'll see then it leads into what it's about, but also the segments. What is each part, the component of each ladder, and then where the sales processes comes in, the segments for that, and then your value propositions.
Okay.
All right, so a bit about me. You do know a little bit about me, but this is going to actually tell you a little bit more about me.
I know the fun stuff about you, but I don't know the business stuff.
Yeah, you don't know the history of where I got to be here right now. So my practical experience, which I call my business experience, is I've been doing business for over 20 years, and it started, oh my God, 24 years ago with a Jim's Antenna franchise. I've always done the accounting sides of the business. We then opened Bistro 1870, which was a catering contract in a pub in Brisbane. Then went into Cafe Mezzo, which is my long-term restaurant. I had that 5.5 years in a shopping centre. And from that, then I created, where did I go to there? I then went to Regal and then opened another restaurant. So that was in a hotel in Gold Coast. And I've also got an e-commerce site where I do all my standard operating procedures from the restaurants on the business manuals. And I've also done a lot of training. So because I've been in the training industry for the last 10 years, I seem to be coming back to these workshops and webinars, and that's where it's come from. But Maralytics, that's where you know me from.
Yeah.
And Maralytics is my software program. That was an idea that I got, or a problem that I had at Cafe Mezzo, running that business and doing the marketing in that business and doing everything manually in spreadsheets. So I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a moment. So a little bit about my educational experience. So it's broken up. There's only a few slides on me, but yeah, I have a lot of educational experience, 19 diplomas and certificates, which are nationally recognized. So this is not all your little short courses and other bits and pieces. I've done heaps of them, Paul Blackburn's. I've done multiple coaching programs of various types. But yeah, so they're nationally recognized. I put them in because that's what I go and teach at the RTOs. And at the moment, I'm teaching diploma, or doing between Cert 2, Cert 3, Cert 4, and diploma levels of well control and drilling management.
That was right. I remember you saying last night. That blew me away. I loved it.
Yeah, so I do a lot of the compliance side of making sure the materials match what the education department want to have delivered. So that's from the compliance side. Other stuff, personal development, I've done a lot of Landmark. So you can see Landmark has been one of my most favourite personal development programs. So I know some people don't like life coaching. It's not really life coaching, they're personal development. It's a way to get to actually deal with all the emotions and, NLP and cognitive therapies, whatever they are. It's how to deal with the stuff, how to deal with, we can go and teach how to deal with conflict, but actually how to deal with conflict powerfully and have a really good outcome are stuff that I learned from Landmark. So I found just being conflict was probably my main reason why I started it, because I had a lot of conflict around me with running the restaurants, dealing with staff, sacking, having upset staff, having court cases and all that kind of stuff. Conflict was, management, that something I wanted to do. And leadership was another thing. Like I had never managed. I'd never even been a supervisor prior to having the first restaurant. And I just didn't know, I didn't have that persona or that experience or the way of being,
Or
the way
background,
you
you
are.
mean?
Yeah, I didn't have any background. So, I got a lot of leadership training from these guys and a lot of support. So Landmark was a big, has made a big impact. I even did their leadership program 2 years ago. So, it's been over 12 years that I've done their programs, love them.
Yeah,
And
wow.
then recently I did the Key Person of Influence Accelerator with Dent, and that has made the biggest
That would have
difference.
been a good one.
That's fantastic. It's about 18 months, very expensive, but it's been the foundation to how I run business now. And even things like my profile photos, how I set my webinars up, the book that I wrote, everything of that came from that particular accelerator. So after doing multiple different coaching programs, now I would always highly recommend if you were going to do that. And everyone I know that's done it has seen a massive difference in their business. Just the level, you can tell, like I'm winning clients because I've done both Landmark and Dent. People
I think Barb's doing a similar one.
Yeah.
She's been doing one for years, and it just gives her all the templates and everything she needs for her business.
This
and you
is
can
not
tell
so much
it
templates.
looks so much more professional than my stuff.
Absolutely.
I didn't have any money left to do it.
Yeah. Anyway, and then, this is where you do know me from being in the Innovation Hub is doing the software. So again, you're a software founder like me. We're only one of 4% of women globally that design and develop new technology. So very, very small window of people. And I find that it's a hard road. And we were discussing this last night.
Yeah.
It's very, very difficult. I came up with the idea for Maralytics when I had my Cafe Mezzo that we were doing. I had a big marketing mix. That was $1 million turnover business. We were turning over, had anywhere from 15 to 25 staff, so it was quite a big enterprise for 10 years ago, more than 10 years ago now.
Yeah.
We just, you just had the point of sales. They weren't the cloud-based ones, but at that time, I had a massive marketing mix. I probably had about 20 to 25, 30 different type of campaigns running at any one time because of school sponsorships. And, I worked with, I think, 12 different schools just in the area. And then, this is
back then it's more labor intensive, wasn't it?
So we had newspapers. I had about 4 different newspapers. I had different flyers going out, like Groupon. I think I had Groupon and Living Social, and there was, I think, about 4 of those, Hot Dockets, so lots of different ones. Now we've just got a lot more online, still got those same ones, and it's about a marketing mix. And I wanted to track and measure where all this where my customers are coming from. I needed to get more bums on seats, and I wanted to know which one was working and which one wasn't. So and also what what call to action actually worked. Trying different call to actions, you could really see the results. So we used to do it all manually, staple a coupon to a receipt, count them up at the end of the day, put them on a spreadsheet, count the spreadsheet at the end of the week, add them to another spreadsheet at the end of the month, and then compare it. So it was a very labor intensive, highly mistake oriented, could make lots of mistakes, but that's where the foundation of this came from. And 6 years ago, went into development. So I was in another coaching program because I didn't even know how to start. I went to an app company and they quoted me hundreds of thousands of dollars, and that was just not affordable for me. And then I got directed to some Vietnamese developers, and then have started the journey of developing software and taught project management during that time, because that's just been one of the skills that I've had, but just doing software has been a completely different level of project management. So I've found that I teach, or I tend to be doing I teach what I'm actually going through. And I tend to help a lot of people around me with what I'm teaching.
Yeah, it's good because it's still relevant, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all going through. And that's like this particular webinar is going through the journey of what I've been dealing with lately. So yeah, and then my awards. So over the last 2 years, I actually haven't added the latest one in there, but over the last 2 years, I've been applying for a few different awards, and it's really good to get recognition for your achievements and where you're up to. We don't often give ourselves, I put myself down a lot and think, I'm not doing anything, but these are a good way of getting recognition. Great for you to do in your business. It's just showcasing that you are making, I'm making a difference in what I'm doing, and it is recognized. I mean, I know I'm not probably making a huge amount of money just at the moment, but you know, this is for business services, marketing, technology, and innovation. So they're areas that do, you know, that is getting some awards. I just got the Stevie Asia Pacific, like the one down in the bottom
I
left
saw
corner.
that down there. I haven't heard of that one before.
Yeah, so I got it last year and I actually got it this year. I just achieved it, just got the results last week. And yeah, so that was another achievement that I've got to add to this slide that is not on there. But yeah, it's I'm still applying for more awards and it's been great to get those results.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
All right, and then I think you have a copy of my book, don't you?
Oh,
I'm not
maybe
sure.
last year I might have downloaded it, but I don't think I've had time to look at
I
it.
thought you had
don't
a
even
hard
know where it
copy.
is.
Yeah, I thought you had a hard copy, but that's all right.
Oh, no,
So,
not a hard copy. No.
okay. Yeah, so I wrote a book that was part of that Key Person of Influence Accelerator program. They highly encourage you to write a book because you have got expertise and to take your expertise. And this particular book was the way it was written, because you saw from the previous slide, I have a lot of educational experience. I really found with most business owners is, or most things out there about marketing is about one thing. It's about branding, or it's about influencers, or it's about Facebook, or how to do paid ads, or how to do email marketing. So it's sections.
Okay.
But there's nothing really that goes from start to finish. So that's how I wrote this book. It's just based in sections and there's stories related to each of those sections. So it goes from planning, you know, starting with your initiation, what marketing plans you're doing, your strategy, benchmarking, budgeting, and all those areas within the plan, you know, the initiating your marketing activities, then going to ideas of where are all the different areas that you can do marketing. It's not just online. There's traditional, there's offline, there's newspapers, there's so many different ways. To implementing, you know, how do we use automations? Do we, you know, what is your goals that you want to achieve? You know, are you know, have you got your
I know with
objectives?
our SaaS product, we can't use those old traditional forms of
You'd be
marketing,
surprised.
I don't believe.
Oh, look, I think it's a good idea to go and explore all avenues, because you don't know where your customers are lying, especially with a new product. And you'd be surprised where they're coming from. I mean, even these webinars, I'm getting most of them through Meetup.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's where I'm getting majority of people. And then the section 4 of the book, so implement, is about, you know, getting your automations and getting, you know, making sure everything's templated and that you've got it, starting to create a system. And then section 4 is identifying. This is where the software of Maralytics really comes into play, is, you know, are you actually looking at the results? Are you getting, you know, is what's actually in the components of marketing, and are you getting that effect from them? And then the last section is innovation. So are we doing forecasting? You know, are we quantifying or qualifying our results? Are we using innovation? Are we emulating our competitors? I always look at what my competitors are doing. I downloaded, or I copied someone. There was an ad on Facebook that I looked at. It was about a competition for marketing results. And it's like, oh, I like this. So I end up following his whole, you know, it was all done through the chat bot. And I just screenshotted the whole lot because I wanted to see his funnel and how it worked, because it was really good and it was very eye-catching. And you know what? Go and borrow somebody else's, because you know what? You don't need to think of it your own. You know, if it caught my eye and I actually did it, and I'm a tough cookie. Like, I don't follow. I tend to scrap through my stuff, and to me that was something that worked. So definitely worthwhile to go and borrow other ones and make their own. All right, and then these are some of the people that I've worked with over the last few years, and this has been, you know, whether it is with the software or whether it's marketing services. So I do lots of different types of services, whether it's updating websites or doing branding and making sure we've got, you know, good logos and brand awareness, and making sure all our platforms online are consistent. Email marketing is another big one. I'm starting to dip into the advertising area and managing ad campaigns, because we're doing that with the software as well, as we're integrating with Facebook and Google. So having to run all those, you know, it takes a lot, and building your customer journeys and email automations, which is where this one came from. So yeah, a few different clients there. They're all in various industries. I initially thought with my software I was targeted to hospitality, but as you can see from here, I only have 2 hospitalities. And the rest are various. So, you know, I've got like street science, they're a big client of mine at the moment, you know, science experiments in schools. And then I've got a few accountants. I've got visa services, I've
Yeah.
got tour companies, electricians. It varies. You know, this is why I'm saying you actually don't know where your clients come from.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're very clear on what you're providing, people will come to get that service.
Mm.
And yep, cool. All right. So next one is, I don't know. Do you want to do this little quiz? It's only about 6 questions.
Mm.
I can put the link in the chat for you so it makes it faster. But if you want to go and just click on that and do that, it just tells me a little bit about who you are, which I know a lot about who you are already.
What stage I'm at with the business
and stuff.
Okay.
And just how you found it. Like, I know you know me, but did you pick it up from my socials, or did you pick it up from an email, or was it from Meetup?
How did I hear about your thing? Did I remember? Did I see it on LinkedIn, or was it an email?
I'm pretty sure it was an email.
All right, direct email.
Yep. I can have a look if you want.
No, that's all right. Okay, I've done it now.
Beautiful. Okay, we'll continue on.
Where are you? I've lost you. Hang on. There you are.
Got me?
Yes.
All right. So the first thing we're going to look at, so this is your ecosystem, or what we look at is, how the business works. And this applies to any business, or whether you have products or services or whatever it is. So you do tend to have a product ecosystem, which is how everything comes together. Now, this is the DENT, ascending transaction model. I think the next one is on, yep. So this actually shows you where, and I really love this model, that it actually really shows very clearly where you bring customers. It's also another word for it is funnels, right? How you're funneling people through. So I particularly like the way they do it, that they have, your gifts, which are your freebies. These are things given away freely. So they could be, whether they're a little free item that you give away, like, whether it's a branded pen, or I know for you, I've got your branded notepads here. Yes. So you gave that to me somewhere along the line. So that is what you would
forget me.
No, I don't. I've got this here on my desk. So that's a free gift, right? Because there is nothing in here that I have to give my name, email, or phone number. You've just given it as a freebie. You can see down the bottom, it has moderate value, but no commitment.
Yeah.
Right, so I use your little notepad. So they've got lots of little ideas. I'm pretty sure I'm going to go more into details, but this is an overview of the ecosystem.
Yeah.
So, and then we look at the products. So different things like that, as we showed you, a little notepad. It could be templates, could be videos, could be blogs, anything like that. It's interesting for someone to look at, and it's related to your business. It's branded.
Yeah.
Then we've got our products for prospects, which is what this video is, right? So this is, you can have videos, my book. So you know that the one you've downloaded, I'm just getting this up now. So this book is a product for prospect, right? That it's an expensive one because, there's a wholesale there's a cost to it. But for that, I get your name. Generally, I get your name, email, and phone number.
Yeah.
And it goes to a landing page. So that's what you want to have. It's a high value, low commitment.
Yeah.
A good way of collecting a database. All right. Then we look at your core products. So these are the things that are high value. And this is where I really struggle with my software, right? Because I always wanted my software to be a core product, and it is a core product. But when you look at this transaction model, it doesn't fit into this model, or where it does fit in is this product for clients, right? So once you've got the main package out there, which is you're looking at $2,000 gross profit. So it's a high value. Core products are a high value. And then we look at, we want to continue servicing our clients. What products are we doing for those clients? Is it ongoing maintenance or services? And this is where the software comes in. That, my particular software being Maralytics, it's an ongoing subscription, which means it's a product that keeps them going and going. So that's where it's a recurring profit. It's, and you can see down the bottom of this model is a gift is to get leads. A product for prospect is for hot leads. Core products are revenue, and then products for clients are recurring profit. So, I mean, I did this program 2 years ago, but still you know, and I've known about transaction model ATMs or value ladders, and I've been doing this for years in sales processes, but all of a sudden things just started to click in the last couple of months. I mean, even doing the trade shows last year, you know, I'm still trying to sell my software as a main product, but it just doesn't seem to be working. And that's where I'm now finding I'm redesigning my whole ecosystem to make sure things work. But we want to look at, you know, alongside all these products is also your marketing, your sales products, your sales processes, your products, your onboarding processes, and your support. You know, that goes alongside all these products. All right, so here we're going to go into the segments, and I've just put this in a different format so you can see where they're all related. Is gifts are, you know, this is your normal typical funnel that we see a lot about that is trained. So it's just, again, another format, but awareness is where people become aware of you and who you are, right? So that's all the gifts that you're giving out. And then, you know, if they've like, oh, you know, I need some help with that. That's where the products for prospects come in, you know, those high values, like they're considering it. It's like, okay, you know, now you know that we've talked about marketing, so, you know, I've been around with you a lot, that you're now considering me more. You're going to know me a bit more over the last couple of years. And, you know, I'm someone that you're starting to be aware of, that if you need some marketing support, that I would probably be one of the first people to come and ask some questions about, or, you know, ask those kind of things. Then the decision. So decision is where the core products come in. And then we have our support processes that goes for onboarding, and then your retention is that product for clients. So again, very similar to the previous slide, but it's just showing you in the funnel of how it all works. All right, so inside, so this is now where we're in the segments of products. So with the gifts are about capturing attention. We have lots of different things you can see here. You can do videos, articles, PDFs, podcasts, templates. They've got to be something that's downloadable or givable. So promotional products isn't, you know, as you've got your notepads as a promotional product.
So
Samples.
they are quite important to have in those early days. And I didn't.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I didn't even know they were that valuable.
Yeah, well, this is where, you know, like you know, this is why I did this particular webinar, because you don't know where it fits into the scheme of things. It's like, well, is it important? No, it's not. But, you know, as I've already shown you, I have your notepad on my desk, right? So that shows
and
me
the
that
QR code, you can download my product.
Absolutely. But that shows you now I've had this for quite some time, right? And I've got the Innovation Hub as another one as well. But these kind of things are really important because there's something you hold on to.
Yeah.
Right. That's a constant reminder.
On the desk.
On the desk, and, you know, don't ever underestimate the value of those things. We can do all the stuff. I mean, you and I come from a time of before social media, before iPhones and phones and apps and, you know, platforms and all that. We come from, you know, being a little bit more experienced
and hands-on.
And hands-on, that it's not all about one way. We've got to use those things because that's what that's what's being utilized, because it's in everyone's face. But you know what? I know when I do trade shows and where I went to trade shows, if I just have to look at a QR code at a stand, I have no idea who it was 2 minutes later, because there's nothing to remind me and for me to remember or go, I really like that product. What was it again? I can't remember the name. I just scanned a QR code. So having those kind of things, I mean, these are kind of things that we did at when we had the trade shows last year. I had lots of little postcards.
Yeah.
I know that these are at the hub, but, you know, QR codes that go to scorecards, that go to templates, that go to all sorts of different activities and offers. You know, everything's there, and having lots of handouts, because that's what people remember. They may throw them out, but they'll keep the ones. Like, I've got a guy that has been coming to all of these webinars. I met him at a trade show in September in Melbourne, and he's still got this. And he's going, can I use it still? And it's like, yeah, of course, why not? You know, so and this particular one, you know, this was a launch, and you can see my price is quite cheap. It was cheaper at the first ones, but I didn't go into that. This is what I learned doing the trade shows, is I didn't have a good core product. But again, my price is below that 2,000. So again, this was an introduction to the business and creating brand awareness, and I've now built more to it that you'll see further when we get further into this webinar of how my model comes into play like this.
Yeah.
But gifts, is a good way, freebies, and that's, templates are good things. I have lots of handouts, and I think it's really important to get that brand awareness and for people to remember you.
Yeah.
You can see down on the slide, scalable, credible. It's, fixing things, light bulbs, insights, and it keeps you in the going, moving in through the funnel. Then we go to products for prospects, which is where we collect leads. So webinars and workshops is typically, this is my lead collection. I'm collecting your name, phone number, and email. My book, again, I do a free downloadable PDF for that, but you have to give me your name, phone number, and email for it.
Yeah.
Demonstrations, if these are on a Zoom, again, you're collecting those details. 30-minute strategy, diagnostic meetings, newsletters. They're things that don't cost anything, and they're a low cost. So like my webinars are free, my workshops are $49, and then my masterminds are $197. So they're part of the model, the ascending transaction model, so that we're putting people through. We're not jumping straight to that 5K.
Yeah.
Product. We want to get them to know you and get the value.
Yeah.
Product. So this is where the main revenue is. It's looking at a $2,000 gross profit. But these are your products, services, or programs. So whatever you're offering, that is a high revenue. Products for clients. So this is your subscriptions or ongoing service. So it could be maintenance, could be anything, but you already have them in your system, and you can keep selling to them.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so then we go into sales processes. This is different to our products. This is how we, if we look at that first, I'll go back to that one here. The sales processes are, what goes in between, how we link one to the next one.
Yeah.
All right, so sales processes, there are three main types of categories of sales process. So we have an e-commerce or a product-based sales process. We have a service-based process, or we have a coaching or consulting. So with your Rely HQ, so with your bookkeeping, would be service-based, right? So you come into that one.
Yeah.
Whereas like for Maralytics, that is a product-based. I'm pretty sure that's a product-based. But, what I'm doing with these webinars, it comes around their coaching and consulting. So you can pick whatever there's, as long as you're clear
which a little bit.
Yeah, but, this is just, we're going through all three. So with the e-commerce business, now e-com can be the same as if it's a retail store, right? So if you think about it, if it's a real store, that you walk into at the shopping center, you've got traffic coming past. So, if it's in real life, you have walk-by traffic. And if it's online, it's the traffic you're sending from your advertising or organic. So you're sending traffic to your product page. So that will be your landing page. You then have a checkout, and then you've got an optional upsell or downsell, and then you get the sale, right? So very simple process. The good, I've put on here what numbers are the ones to look at, because these are important numbers. What's the lifetime value or the cart value? Have you got people just buying one time only? Or, like Coles and Woolies, that's a lifetime value of a customer. They can tell that by our flybys and by our rewards cards is what's the value, because if you put that membership in there, they can say, right, this person comes in this many times, they spend this much money, and they're worth this much over time. So that's a small amount, but website conversion as well is what numbers are you converting? That's where you look at your Google Analytics, is are you converting the landing page, that checkout to the sale, that's the number you want to look at. Or so between checkout and optional, so, are they buying those, or checkout to sales? Those are the numbers to look at. And then here, your cost per click. So how much does it cost to send traffic to your product page? So those are the important numbers. Now, this is generally for products less than 200. So we're looking at multiple, smaller items. Profitability needs to be 2 to 3 times return on ad spend.
Yep.
Right. So if you're looking at this cost per click, which is traffic to product page, you want to get profitability. You want to make sure your profit, not your sales, but your profit is 2 to 3 times the spend here. All right, next one is service-based. So this is where, your bookkeeping would come into it. And the service-based is you're sending traffic. Just want to check. Yep. So traffic, you'll be sending them through to a landing page to book an appointment or complete a form. It could be anything to start to actually capture those details to book in a meeting and then collect a sale. Very similar numbers to look at here: average client value, website conversion, cost per click. But we also want to have a look at, in between here, from the landing page to the meeting, how many came in, and then also from the meeting to the sale, what was the close rate? So this is again between products between $100 and $3,000. We want to have over 3 times return on ad spend. So it gives you some really good numbers. Now with coaching programs, this is broken into a little bit different. There's a few different areas inside the coaching and consulting businesses. You have the online sales, right? So if you're just doing online, you're again very similar. Like here, we're doing the free webinar, free training. And then I could send them for me, I've got a workshop and then a mastermind, and then those are sales. So so we look at, again, client value, website conversion, cost per click, attendance rate, and close rate. Needs to be 5 times return on ad spend. Now, if it's a coaching program, you can hear the differences really come into the product pricing. So this is like a small, like a lead-in type of webinar or workshops. They're low value, right? They're not high value, but these are getting more into high value, $3,000 to $20,000 programs. When you go to those live events, so you would have you book a call, or you got a sales call and you get the sale. And then, it's just the two there. So, sorry, this is a online one. So whether you have free training, you want to book people in to buy the program, or this one's an event one where you go to a live event, and then, you have, this is typically, I've been to a few speaker events recently, and they're free events. So that's where the event funnel comes in, and then you're directing them through to a $3,000 to $20,000 program, and you're selling at the event. If you don't sell at the event, you've then got to go back to making the sales call like this one, and then getting the sale. So, I mean, I remember years ago, one of coaching programs we did a massive live event, got lots of people there, and there was no selling at the event. It's like, we'll contact you afterwards. And it was so difficult to sell afterwards because it was such a missed opportunity that people were all ready and excited, but because we had to call up afterwards and your own stuff gets in the way of going, I've waited 4 days or something, and then all the hype is lost. And the conversion is way less. So, with these, especially big programs, you want to sell at the live events.
Yeah, okay.
Yep. All right, so funnels. So this is very similar to what we were talking about, again, at the ecosystem. This is how my funnel works. So I just want to show the Maralytics and where we go into those transaction models, or, where the awareness conversion. So I start off with the free resources. This is a no cost, low value. So that's my blogs, my videos, my book when I give away a hard copy, and I've got a marketing planner as well. So these are all hard copies that I give away. They're the freebies that when I see people in person, like your notepad, that comes into a free resource. Free pens. I don't particularly like pens because I throw them away. I hate, I've had thousands of pens and seem to collect them now. I do not want a pen.
Yeah.
I like I don't know, this is Bic. I've got Bic and Kilometrica. I like those pens.
Yeah, I've got my particular pens and pencils I use.
Yeah, so
like those ones,
there's no point for me to even collect anything like that.
So then you like the notebooks?
I do. I think they're a really good one because they're useful. I like anything that's useful because I can continue to use it. Pens I hate. But that's my
personal. Take notes. You'll see me, I'm writing things down. I still like to take notes, and then you can go away and you've still got a little bit of something to refer back to.
Absolutely. Then we've got the products for prospects. So I call these gated resources. And with that, it's, again, no cost, high value. We're collecting their name, phone, and email. Name, phone, email addresses. So we're asking for something we want something from the leads, so we can keep them on a database, because then we can continually promote to them at no cost. So my book as a PDF is a gated resource, so you can download it. I've got a lot of templates. Ebooks, I offer a lot of ebooks. I've got quite a few in my library. I've got the scorecard, which is that one you missed in the first email, but you'll get a chance to do it later. There's a report that comes with that scorecard. The software, so the Maralytics software, we do free trial for a month, which I think one of your girls had a go at. I've got my marketing planner as well as a downloadable, and webinar. The webinars in this one is, again, another gated resource that you have to give those details, and then you're in an email funnel for that. Then we look at the products so I've separated products and the prospects to no cost and low cost, right? So I've put another level in here because I do workshops and masterminds and special packages. So this particular flyer that you see here is a special package I had for the software.
Okay.
Which is when I launched. So that really fitted in. That was a low cost, high value. And
Yeah.
the workshop, which leads on from this particular, so the webinar is like an introduction. We give you all information. Workshop is where we start to implement some of the stuff. So workshop is about, it's 3 hours working in and going, okay, I will sit with you, and depends on how many people in the group. Sometimes it's a one-on-one, sometimes there might be 2 or 3, and we work with you and work on your stuff and go, okay, let's go and work all this out where you are, so you're really crystal clear on where you are and where's everything sitting in there. And it's the workshops are only $49, I think 49 or 47. So they're not a high cost. They're a low. That's where it's got low cost, high value. It's 3 hours of your time for a low amount of money, where we actually make a big difference in your business already with just implementing all this stuff. Now the mastermind is a day event. It's about 6 to 7 hours. And it combines 2 workshops. So you generally have done the workshop firsthand, but it's including this one being the product values and the product ladders and sales processes, and also the next topic, which is email marketing. So we're combining all that together in a mastermind session. So that's why it's a little bit more money. It's 197, but we do 2 topics where we're going to be implementing some amazing systems into your business. And it's a good way to get those things done that could be on your list, or you don't know how, but you're actually doing it yourself, and I'm sitting there teaching you how to do it.
Yeah.
So that's where those product for prospects are a low value. Then we come into the core product. So when I started looking at all this and really putting in where does everything fit, so I actually didn't have any core products. This is where I really struggled when I did the trade shows last year. And it's like, well, I've got the software, which comes down to the products for clients, but it's not a core product. It's not a high value. So I ended up creating 3 coaching programs, and they tend to get offered when you've done the workshop or the masterminds, because they start from $5,000. So they were built from this release that I did last year, the special offer package, which is no longer available, but I still put that in there that I can chop and change it around. But with the coaching programs, I've done a marketing blitz for 3 months, and it's $5,000, and you get 5 coaching sessions. You get all the masterminds and webinars and workshops, all of that included. You get 12 months of software. So there's a lot of inclusions for that 5,000. And we work, those 5 coaching sessions are one-on-ones where we go through a lot of the components of the book to make sure, have you got your lead gen? Have you got your brand awareness? Is everything really there? So it's a really nicely structured entry-level program where we just work with, and then the next one, so I thought, well, how do I make this better? And then I did a 10,000 one, which is 9 months, and then a 20,000 one, which is 12 months. But though the 12-month one includes all your branding done for you. So we give you all your icon, we do all your logos, we do all your social media covers, we do all your bios, we update everything, we set up all your email marketing, we set up your newsletters, and we actually do a lot more stuff that you can utilize. So that's where it's big, it's a high cost, high value, but it's 12 months. And then you've got all those coaching, the hands-on, we try to do them every 3 weeks, so that we'll walk you through and actually make a big difference to the business within that 12 months.
Yeah.
So that's where I've learned doing all this, is having to set it all out and go, well, where does this all fit in? And then the software, I've got 3 different levels for that as well. We've got an entry level and the integration, which goes with 0. And then we've got a hands-on one where we help you out with it as well. So then also that's where I had to learn with doing this, is like, well, okay, we've got the software funnel, but then we've got, well, how am I selling the software? How am I getting leads? And I've had to set up this training side, because big thing I found with a lot of the customers I'm trying to attract is I've got 3 different avatars, 3 different client prospects. My first one is digital marketers. They don't want any training, or they like to learn something new. But training's not a big thing for them, but they wanted Facebook analytics and Google analytics to be integrated with the software, so they've got a whole package. They're a different market. This one now, I found with working with a lot of business owners, like I showed you on one of the original slides, was they all wanted training, right? They not only wanted to use the software, but they needed to know how to implement all of the processes to then start tracking and measuring. So that's where the training side of the business has really been built from. And I'm building also another side, which will be the agency. So we can actually provide a lot more services. We're already doing that now, but it's not built out yet. But again, that's another where packages come into those core products. So this is where we look at the sales process. So as you see, you've come into the webinar, the event funnel. So we've got traffic that came in through the database. So I do send an email out to my database. I put it on Meetup. I put it on all my socials, so all my Maralytics socials, and I put it on all my personal socials. So it gets featured everywhere. And then I'm also doing some Facebook ads as well. So I've got quite a few ways that I'm bringing the traffic in. And it's really good to just look at, well, where, what is working and what isn't. So the database, which is the way you came in, is one of my most effective, as well as Meetup is the other way I'm getting a lot of people. So they all come into the event funnel. Like, you come to this webinar, and then it's looking at, well, okay, we've got the workshop is the next step. And that's something I did learn with coaching programs many years ago, is you want to be able to tell people what's the next step. I'm not trying to sell you the 5 or 20 grand program, right? I'm just saying the next step from here is the workshop. If you want to implement these things, and let's get some clarity about what you're doing and what your business, because I know you've got your software as well, is it's very hard to go and sell a big ticket item. That's really hard work. So by breaking it down into different areas makes it an easier sell. All right, so you can see down the bottom here, I've got all the ways I promote it. So down the bottom here being social media, platform events, Meetup, Eventbrite, Facebook ads. You register for a ticket. That's how I know. So I can see, I get notifications on my phone that every time somebody's ordered an order notification. You then go into the email automation. So you would have got those. I'm still perfecting that system. I'm on my third webinar
I was just going to ask you that, actually.
Oh,
how do you get that to happen automatically?
Well, that's what I'm building out. That's why the next topic is email automations, because I have been spending, I think, 2 months getting it right. To get those funnels, like ClickFunnels, Russell Brunson from ClickFunnels is an easy way, but that's a very expensive program. Whereas I use ActiveCampaign. It's not, it's cheaper than ClickFunnels, but it also is a CRM. You can also do your sales pipelines and deals in there. I use it for the email automations, email campaigns, all sorts of things. So it's a fantastic.
Is that instead of like HubSpot and things like that?
Yeah. So HubSpot and MailChimp are their competitors. I do like ActiveCampaign a lot more, because you've got all the automations, you've got tagging, you can segment, you can do so much more with it. Like, it's just a fantastic system. But as I said, with doing this, I have 4 webinar days, like for each webinar topic, this one being product value ladders. I have 1 topic, 4 dates, 2 different times. So to get everything going, and then, there's 4, it's on Eventbrite, there's 4 ticketing things. So they've all got to come into different things. So there's a lot of moving parts inside it. And it's been a lot to get that right. It's very hard to build these things out and get it right the first time. So I'm on my 3rd topic. We're pretty much down to getting close to it nearly being perfect. I think by the time I hit the 4th, we should be, I don't think there's much to tweak anymore, because I've just, the last things, there was just this time, I think we got stuck in the automation, and that was because I did the events and date and time, because that's what we worked on. The second one was, well, we wanted to get the timing right, and then we had to pull that out. So it was just, it stopped people through the process. So now it's starting to work. But, so this is how we've got the event webinar, which will provide you with some emails. You get access to the scorecard, which was the one you didn't do just before. So I had some links, and it's got, when you do the scorecard, you also get a free book. So worthwhile doing the scorecard, because that will tell you exactly where you need help with your marketing.
Did I see you emailed that to me?
Yes, that would be in one of the last emails.
Yeah, I thought I saw a pop-up. Okay.
Yeah, so just have a look at it again. And then after this, you're going to get some more emails. There is probably 2 or 3. 3, maybe 4. So the next one will be, thank you for attending. And then the one after that will be the invitation to the workshop. The one after that will be, if you can't make it to the workshop, because the workshop only runs once. So the webinar runs 4 times. Workshop is once only. And then the mastermind is only once, right? So I don't do record, I know I'm recording this, but this is more for my training and development and going, where can I streamline things and that, but I don't actually provide recordings or slide decks or anything. So that's why we have the purpose of the workshops and the masterminds, is to come along to those and really implement this information. So, they're not held straight away. The workshop's in about 2 or 3 weeks. I think 3 weeks, the mastermind's in about 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And it gives you time to go, well, have I got that I'm actually going to do this. You've got time to implement. I'm a big one to try it myself. I do try things myself. So I want to give you time to try it yourself. And then, if you haven't done it, well, then come and workshop and then spend 3 hours and do it. It's done then, in that way. And then also there'll be something going on to the coaching programs. Like I said, that's the sales process that goes behind this. So the email automations are my sales process. So you can see this is how it works and how the funnel is working.
Yeah.
And sends through each section, through each product. So we've got the webinar is our product for prospect. This is the low value product for prospect, free, no cost product for prospect, low value product for prospect, and then core product. All right. Now, the other thing I learned from doing all this is the customer journey. Is like, where are people going through this journey? What's actually happening? And this has opened a massive can of worms, right? Massive. And this is what I'm doing a lot for. So not only for Analytics, but Street Science as well. And for another business too, that we actually go and look at what is happening with the customer. Where is, I've had a lot of problems with, I've had, with the software, I've had over 30 people signed up in the last 3 months.
Yeah,
Free
great.
trial, which is absolutely fantastic, but none have actually, 0 people have used the software the way it's designed.
Oh.
And 0 have gone through to the paid subscription.
Oh.
So that's telling me there is something wrong in this journey. So you really, and it's like, I was getting frustrated when I'm looking at those numbers going, when I thought it was just 1 or 2 people, it's like, oh, it's just them. They're just being lazy. They're not clicking on the emails. And then it's like, well, no, I need to break this down and go, well, what's the actual, and see why. So I have done something like this. This is, I found this is Starbucks actually. So that just showing you the steps. Now, this is a retail store of going, they want to get some Starbucks. They go and check on Google Maps. They drive to Starbucks. They go to the drive-through. They look at the menu. They order it through the intercom. They make the payment at the first window. Then they wait for the drinks. They collect the drinks at the second window, and then they leave the store. That is the step by step. And it's really important to look at that, because from doing that, I found, and then we've got the same with an online store pickup. All right. So again, what are the steps? What happens? Now, this was something that I did for my own software of going, okay, this is Analytics. This is our sign up now page. This is where you get a free trial. You go and put your name into the form, and then you go through to creating an account. All right. So that's how it looks. But this is where I actually use the spreadsheet. I love spreadsheets. And it's like, well, what is the actual journey? And then I can start to go, well, where is the bottleneck? So we've got, this one is the sign up page on the website. We've got the click sign up now. That then goes through to this form, which is done on ActiveCampaign. And on that form, it redirects to the bottom of the page. The form is done on ActiveCampaign. So it's called free trial website. So that's how I can identify it. That contact person is then put into a list called free trial website, and they're also tagged. So that's where, when I want to send future emails to people who have tried the website, I've got a list already or a tag, and that's where I can segment straight away.
You know where they are in the journey, yeah.
Yeah. So let's say
what email to send, yeah.
Yeah. So if I want to send out an email next month to all the people who've tried free trials, they're all in that list.
Yeah.
They're all there. And then once they've completed this form, right? So that's where I've got them now in my email. I've got I've now got their contacts email, and then I'm going to use them. So that's the website onboarding, and then it redirects, that form redirects to creating an account in Analytics. So I've got the link there. So that's where we can go, yep, they can now start up for an account. Bang, all done. So that's where, that's just one little step. What happened then? I did the next onboarding of what happens from now. We've got the next one. So that's the free trial onboarding.
Is this your bottleneck area?
There was a bottleneck here, because when I didn't,
because I reckon that would be mine.
I had 4 different areas going to the same, so they've got to be individual. All right. So I've got the website free trial. I've got them coming in from 0, because I'm on the 0 app store. That's a way they're coming in. So that was also linked to this.
Oh, that's great, because I want to get in there too.
Yeah. So it took me 6 to 9 months to get through to 0.
I remember you saying,
and Square, I'm over 12 months. So Square will be another way to come in. So when we're on the Square app store.
Yeah. Okay.
Takes a long time to get through that process. I've also got the software on AppSumo. as a, a lifetime deal on it. So that's the way we're doing. And I've just heard of another one called JV Zoo, which I've got to explore as well. So these are all the avenues that the subscribers are coming in.
Yeah.
So there's this website free trial is just one. And my mistake when I started investigating this further is they're not all the same. They're different. So I had to build an automation for each one.
Yeah, okay. Wow.
Right. So this is just how they come in and what happens when they come in. So I found with the 0 one was they weren't filling out a form, which means I didn't have them. So they were going from here being, let's say this first one being sign up. They went from here straight to here. Missed out this form, which means I didn't tag them. I didn't have them in a list. And from that, they weren't getting any support emails because that's another journey that they weren't getting, so they weren't getting support emails, which means they didn't know how to use the program because they didn't have the demonstration videos.
Yeah.
And I was losing them.
Okay.
So that's where once I uncovered this and separated, it's like, well, no, a 0 person is different to a website and each one needs to be individual. So that's why it's so important to actually have each journey itemized and they're all single.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, so really, really important for that. So, and then from that, once they're on this list of free trial, then I've got them coming into a subscriber automation. So they're now, well, this one's actually free trial. So there's a little bit more to this automation that, it's like welcome, because with the software, they'll have a verify their account. So that's another automation that comes through from the software, but also, you've got the onboarding emails and just, I found, this where my onboarding is where I have majority of my bottlenecks.
Yeah. Okay.
People were not getting the support emails and the free trial ones, the emails, because I set the emails up when I did the beta testing. So it was 3 years ago now. And they needed to be refreshed.
Yeah.
I didn't have the journey.
And plus
really
people
well.
change their emails quite a lot too.
Yeah. Yeah. So just having that journey of a subscriber or a free trial subscriber of, this is what you do first, this is what you do second, this is what you do third. So when I did it 3 years ago, which was before the Dent Accelerator, I sort of, I had probably about 80% right or 90% right, but it needed a refresh. The brand's changed. We've got our imagery has changed. But 2, I found the information. I've updated all my videos. I've got more content. I've got more help like with doing the webinars. So now I've put those in there as well. It's like we do an onboarding call, which I didn't do before. We've got, training and development. So if you want to have some webinars included.
That's a good idea. Onboarding call.
Yep. So onboarding call that's my second one. So the first one is they can have a look at the videos. So I've got a list of videos that they look at to learn how to use the software. And the second email is an onboarding call.
Yeah.
Like let us help you with whatever you need.
Because I think the onboarding could be an issue with ours.
Yeah. And that's just linked to Calendly, which, then books in a call to my calendar.
Yeah.
And just really simple. And then that way you're because I don't get phone numbers when I have the free trials. It's not something they don't have to fill it out. And I've got a lot of internationals coming in through AppSumo as well. But just, I found that, I didn't have that kind of, like I had a support call, but it went through to the emails and it didn't go through to a calendar booking. So there were lots of things that I found that I neaded to fix up. And there's
I use Calendly a lot.
Yeah.
I wish it would link in easier to my it's starting to now, even with I used to have the paid subscription, but I cut that back to the free. And when people go into the Calendly, it'll put it in my Google one instantly.
Yep. Yeah, that's what mine does too.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, so fantastic to do that. So I found with doing this spreadsheet now, I have probably about 15 different types of automations. Because I also I've got support call that, if there's a support ticket, I've got that as an automation. So because the software's got its own automation of onboarding as well through the software, upgrading your subscription, downgrading subscription, termination of your subscription, free, the free trial, they're all different. So the software has got its own automations and then the emails have their own automations.
Yeah, that's
so good. I've got 2 different systems. So that's why I've got a few more. But subscribers, just getting clarity and bringing all of them, Square, Xero, AppSumo website, they all funnel into the one subscriber, but they all come in at different points.
Yeah.
So just getting really clear of where they come in as well. And then what happens, do they finish or, I think when I've got up to about 12 emails in the subscriber, I don't want to give any more support after that. Goes then into, it then redirects into my newsletter automation, which my newsletter is just blogs. So all the blogs that we've written, we put in the newsletter so that every week, and it goes out once a week, that this is a topic we're discussing this week.
Yep.
So, I don't want to continually have to do newsletters every week. I'm just not into that. I think
I find it difficult even every month.
Yeah. And that's why I've got, that's why I've got the 12 support emails of, whether it's onboarding, whether it's, we talk about reporting, so different reporting hacks, different kinds of activity, marketing activities you can do. So I've got lots of different types of emails, how to access different parts. We do an exploring of the software, of how, you might just look at this thing, but just exploring in deeper. And so, and like Square, we have the Square videos all linked to that particular automation. So it took me a long time, it took me about 2 weeks to get about, I don't know, 25 emails, but then reformatted, and I did them once, and then it's like, oh, I forgot the links down the bottom, or they had to change all the links, so then I had to go into all of them and do them again, update. Really important to, just this way, it's a good way to track where somebody is, what the links are with that, where are you sending people, are you sending them somewhere away, but you want them to come back, so it's really important to keep people in the journey and keep them in the funnel, because it's very easy for people to drift off. All right, so in a review, we've done the product value ladders and the segments, sales processes, and the segments for that, and your value. So the value proposition, it's not really a value proposition, is it? It's customer journeys.
Yeah.
I need to change that in the slide.
Yeah.
Take the value proposition. So we're talking about customer journeys. Do you have any questions?
Well, I did. If you can see, the first one was on the top of my list, value proposition.
Yep.
Value proposition, call to action.
Yeah.
And SaaS marketing. Just a couple of things that I had thought of at the beginning, but I think when
so with your value proposition
workshop probably next, and then we can sort of start with that then.
Yep. So value proposition, have you used ChatGPT yet?
Yeah.
Go pop it in there.
Yeah.
It's pretty easy. It's quite funny, because then they actually, I find it writes it in a really nice way. And, I've still come back to, my value proposition is it tracks, measures, and reports on marketing activities. For the ROI, that always comes down, and you'll find you'll have something simple. I keep getting swayed and go somewhere else, and I always come back to it. So I'm learning that's it.
Yeah.
Call to actions. I think that was the second one.
Yep.
You need to try different call to actions. That's what I've been exploring, especially since I launched a year ago. I'm trying different call to actions. This
still
particular
finding the right one.
Yeah, look, this one worked a little bit, but hasn't been great. The webinars I'm actually getting really good feedback from, because people love, I'm a good trainer. I know I'm a really good teacher. I've got a good knowledge, and I can deliver really well. I mean, as you can see from the PowerPoint, it's quite professional. It's logically written so that it takes you through the journey. So I know I'm a really good teacher and really good at delivering. But I remember when Cafe met, so I used to test and measure all the different call to actions, and that's what the software Maralytics is really good for, because you can actually see what works with real numbers, like when you plug it all in. Because we had, I remember we did the buy one get one free, because we're a coffee shop, right, a cafe, and then we had 20% off meals. Now 20% is a big chunk, because that's a lot of your profit. And I remember doing it through 2 supermarkets. One went through Woolies, the other one went through Coles. So I had the same channel, just different stores, but it's virtually the same channel. And there was a big difference. There was 500 redemptions in a month for the buy one get one free, and there were 10 redemptions for the 20% off.
Okay.
That's a massive difference, right? And I did that. I didn't just do it 1 month. I actually did it for a couple of months, just to go, well, is this? And I did it through some different channels. I think we had coupons at the time through, you could coupon magazines and stuff, or newspapers. I had 2 different newspapers, because we had the Albert Logan, and then we had the Reporter. So again, when I did the buy one get one free, I had the same results through both of them. When I did the 20% off and did it was again very similar numbers, like it was 10%.
Yeah. Okay.
So I knew from, again, this is where you come into the last part of my book, which is about innovation, is when you start to do your A/B testing, your split testing, and you got to measure your apples for apples, right? I was doing same channel, different offer. So you've got to have, or otherwise
mix it up a bit.
Yeah, otherwise you do the same offer, different channels. But you can't do different offer, different channels because you've got nothing to measure against. So really important with call to actions is just try one or two things. I pretty much have the same offer, like mine's a webinar, free webinar, same offer, all different channels. And that's where I was saying to you earlier in the webinar that don't think you know where your customers are, because you don't know. You don't know. You're not, I know you are your customer because that's why you created your software like I did. It was the problem. I did about 10 years, close to 10 years of market research. So I talked to advertisers, I talked to businesses. So I know I had a lot of market research behind me, that it was, and I've been swayed with different programs that I've been doing about who my ideal customer is. COVID has really put a big spanner for me. I don't know if it has for you, but for me, my target market was hospitality. And I've had to move up from that because I can see with who my customers are now, it's not even 10% hospitality. And hospitality is struggled with COVID. Really.
Well, that's right. Yeah, exactly.
And there's still, I know so many businesses. When we were talking last night that there's a lot of startups that are folded as well. I think Milk Run, which is a delivery for restaurants, they just gone under. I mean, I think they raised $75 million last year, only operating for a year. Yeah, I got the report on it.
Oh, poor buggers.
Yeah. So, even though we're outside of COVID, businesses are still just really, really having it tough.
Struggling to get back on track. Yeah. Yeah, no, I was pretty lucky really, because I've only been in for 3 years. It was only 3 just before COVID.
Yeah.
That I decided to create an MVP and just see if there was a fit for the market and everything. So it hasn't affected me at all because I haven't really been out there yet.
Yeah. And that's similar to me, is I developed the MVP pre-COVID, but then I went and did the accelerator during COVID. So I built this side of the business. I wrote the book.
Yeah, me
I've
too.
developed all the demonstration videos. I've actually built the business side of the business. And the launch has been more last year. I did beta testing during COVID as well. So I got
when
a lot
did
of
you do your launch? When did you do it?
I haven't done an official one launch.
Oh,
but
you did it.
I've been doing the trade shows,
trips, wasn't it? Yeah, that was
I've just been doing lots of trade shows. So, it's not a one launch. It's probably more of a soft launch of where we're trying to onboard customers and product market fit. So is it official? Yeah, we've got paying customers, not enough yet, because I think it's still that product market fit. But even just doing this, this kind of thing has been massive. Like that's been a massive, and that's come from doing these webinars, right? It all started with, I want to do webinars and start teaching. And then it's like, well, okay, now I need to redesign the whole website because we've got the training arm and then agency is the other side. So there's a whole different architecture, because we're going through the funnels and all that, where the business is all going forward. And so it's really hard to say, well, I can, I've been trying to onboard customers, but it's been unsuccessful. Now that I've fixed all of this up, should have a lot more success now. I noticed even I had someone sign up yesterday and they've gone and clicked on the demonstration videos. I can see exactly where they've gone, and it's like, yes, my first one that's come through since I've done it. So I know it's already working now. I'm interested to see how he goes through the system now, because I can watch that subscriber through Active Campaign and see their activity.
Yeah.
And we'll see what it's like after that. Will he come to a webinar? Will he use the onboarding calls? All that kind of stuff. So I'm curious now to see. I've got a good first one, and I haven't done anything. This is all part of my organic, being on Xero, being on AppSumo, being in these different areas of just.
Who did he come through?
Don't know.
Do you remember?
No, I don't know. I just know he's come through the website. So I actually don't know where he's come from to get to the website. That's the only thing I don't know. But I think, no, actually, I do know, because he actually bought some of my business manuals. So the business manuals that are on my e-commerce site, he's actually on the database.
Oh, right.
Which, because I was looking, and now I think about it, I was looking at him. So he's been on the database because he bought a coffee making manual, barista manual. So he bought that about 3 years ago.
Oh, right.
Been on the database since then, and, got the free resources. And then because I've done these webinars, I've sent it out to everybody. So he's had 1 or 2 webinars, and then he's then clicked onto the Maralytics website, and then he started the free trial. He's downloaded the book, and he's done the scorecard. So I can see
that's great. So he's already got a decent kind of journey in there already.
Yeah. So, as you could see from my journey, is it's come from one of my other businesses, but still funneling into this. He's used the scorecard. He's downloaded the free book, and then the marketing templates he's downloaded as well. So those are the gated resources. And he's done a free trial. So he's gone into all the gated resources. The free trial now is in the emails, and I can see he's watched the demonstration video. So which to me is like I haven't had to put any input myself, like a human input. I don't want to have, I want to have it as automated as possible. I don't really want to pick up the phone and ring everybody. I want him to book a call if he wants it. More than happy to discuss it. If he wants further
offered,
it's there to take it up. But also if he wants training, or, if he doesn't know enough about how to get his marketing sorted, we're offering the webinars so that he can learn. And that's where these recordings are going in, is they're actually going to go into a library of webinars that are available, which is going to be a small cost as well. That if you want to access all the webinars, every single one of them, you can access them for a short fee, a monthly fee or whatever. Membership fee. So that's where they're going into. But at the moment, I'm still collecting a few of them. So that's why the recordings are really important. But
great.
To let you know what's next. So what can you do next? That's really terrible English. What you can do next. All right. So we know that this is the webinar you're in right now. If you want to do it again, more than welcome. There's 2 more next week. So the Tuesday and the Thursday, different times. And then if you want to improve your skills, so like I mentioned a little bit earlier, if you want to have hands-on, so I actually help you hands-on, we go and do it all. If you want one of your VAs to come in as well, more than happy for that, because I know you've got the Filipino VAs as well. I'm more than happy for your team to be in there as well, and we can just, make sure everybody's doing the right thing. And that's in the workshop. So the workshop is on the 29th of April between 1 and 4. If it goes a bit longer, that's fine, but I've just scheduled it for it to be 3 hours. And that's $49.
Okay then.
All right.
So well, I'm sure you'll send me the email for that.
You'll get an email for that. And then after that, I think I did mention as well, we've got the mastermind. So this is where there's a lot more details with it. And that one is on the 20th of May. So it's in a little bit further in the future. And that one is $197.
I like how you've actually paced it out too, rather than putting the big dump on everyone.
Because so this is the sales process. What we've got, and remember, it's going through the funnels. This is why I was so excited to deliver this, and I'm a bit sad that it hasn't got as many people jumping into it. And I don't know whether it's the topic, I haven't explained it, or it's Easter. It's holidays and school holidays. Has that affected it? Because I find this has really revolutionized my thinking. And I've known about this stuff for years. I've known sales process for years. I've known product ladders. I've got the Russell Brunson books from like 10 years ago when he first released them.
People from Christmas to Easter, they're just easing back into their work. But we should be booking in things for the rest of the year. But
well, I've got a few
being
more.
Female, I've got too much going on. But you think men would be jumping in with this?
I've got a few more topics. I've got a list of probably about another 6 or 7 topics I want to deliver on, and that's where this library is coming into, that I can then, if you've missed it, then you can go in and jump in and watch any of the webinars. The workshops I'm not going to put in there because they're a hands-on, but the webinars I want to have that there's a library of them that, you just pay a small fee and you get access to all of them, watch them in your own time.
Okay. All right. Okay.
And then next topic, just so you know, we're just about finished. I think this is the last one. Next topic is email automations. So maximizing your email, so boosting your engagement and communication, and they're the dates for that. Second, and you'll get those as well. So, and that's it. Webinar finished. Thank you.
All right.
Right. Sorry, it went a little bit over. I seem to always go 10 minutes over. You better go. But thanks, Helena. It's lovely to see you again.
It was great.
Did you like it? So
I thought it was excellent, in all honesty. It was better than I thought.
What was the best thing you got out of it?
I liked how you had just the customer journey as well, and you're a little bit more in depth in everything in the process. Whereas I haven't really, oh my gosh, I could have used you to help me last year when I was really stuck with my son's accident and stuff, instead of putting someone straight on. Remember, we went put the salespeople on, expecting them to know all this and do all this. Lost so much money through that process.
Look, I did as well. I did the same. I had 2 sales guys on, and I lost an incredible amount of money. Like I think I made $3,000. Cost me $35,000, and I made $3,000. And similar to me, I didn't have the core products, or I thought my software was enough of a core product, but it wasn't.
Yeah, that's right. And I'm loving the fact that you're putting in some of these additional services and making it more of a package rather than that core product. See,
Mhm.
I could be a bit the same. The last couple of years, I've been thinking, my accountant says keep the bookkeeping and the
Yep, absolutely.
software separate, but I'm thinking it
No,
can sort of intermix somehow and give a
yeah.
better service.
Well, yeah,
No.
it's one of those add-on services. Like as I said, I'm doing like I've got the training arm, but I've also got the agency, which is going to be
Mm,
developed in the next couple of months. I'm just building out the training side of it first, and there's programs, making sure all the
mm,
emails and everything are working with that. And then the agency side, as I did, I'm doing a lot of support for a lot of clients at the moment, and I want to have packages, so core products in there again. I've
mm,
got 4 levels. The first one is just monitoring your website. Second
mm,
level is, we'll do your newsletters and email marketing.
mm.
And then third level is
Yeah,
starting
maybe
to
we
get,
both need to keep those two sort of things floating along, and one will loop into the other.
they do, because
Whereas
that's where you can use it, your services help.
the software will bring in the automatic revenue for us over time,
Yeah,
but we
that's where we went
yeah,
back to. If you go right back here,
yeah.
it's right at the beginning. Or no, actually, I'll use this one. I like that one. Your product, your software is down here like mine. So
That's
you
right.
can't send people straight to the bottom. You're not
No,
making
no.
any money. It's just
Mm,
hard work. And this is where, as I
mm,
said, this was quite revolutionary for me to do this
mm,
webinar, because I've got so much clarity. Now I'm building it all out, right? So it takes
mm,
time to redesign your websites, the architecture, you creating a new architecture for the business.
mm.
And that's,
Yeah, and even me, where you've got your workshop masterminds and things like that, I can see starting up that Gold Coast Tech Ladies group
yep,
that's a really good
that's here. It's a lead generator.
exactly. And I didn't even realize that was just a
Mm-hmm.
support group for myself.
Yep.
But
It's a lead generator.
I've had like I know half a dozen or so meetings with the council new CIO, Anthony, and I've got the product into council and they're looking at it. And
Awesome.
I didn't approach him at all. He
Yep.
came to me
Yep.
through that group.
Awesome. So it
Yeah,
just
so
shows you when you get this clear. And as I said, I've just been doing it now. So I haven't gone big yet, because I've
yeah.
realized I want to keep it. It's not that I want to keep it.
Get your core in place.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get, well, actually all of this, the emails, I'm having trouble with the automations to perfect it. I don't want to go and blow it out and then have all these upset customers. So I'm just going
Yeah.
slowly, building this all out. So it does look, it's on brand, it's good quality, it's got
Yeah.
all the support behind it, because I'm building for long term.
Yeah,
And I think
I'm the
that's where you're
same.
at as well, is that
Yeah,
I'm not here as a fly by night.
I've got the bookkeeping to support my own lifestyle.
Yeah.
So I don't have to really push Rely HQ too much, but I
Yeah.
want to keep it as a comfort level so I don't burn out again.
Mm-hmm.
And just going to the right people, doing
Yep.
really good research and getting really good contacts as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
So I think we're on
Cool,
track.
cool.
We'll just
Awesome.
keep going.
Good. Well, I'm glad you got some value out of it. Come and do
Yeah,
the
no, it's
workshop.
great.
You will get the
Yeah.
emails for it. So
All right
yeah,
then.
just
Okay, no
look
worries.
at booking it that in and getting it in your calendar.
Yeah, okay, wonderful.
All right.
All
Have a
right,
great
thanks,
day.
Miriam. Yeah, you too. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. See ya.
Okay, bye.
Bye.